Hey guys, Rich Dad Real Estate Coach Brent Daniels here, and if you just read Rich Dad Poor Dad, then you're probably looking for some incredible real estate opportunities. And remember this, we make money when we buy. So let's break all that down, all right? There's three main parts to buying really great deals. The first one is lead generation. Second is the conversion, and third is your exit strategy. To put it even more simple, find deals, negotiate deals, and close deals. But nothing happens unless you are generating leads. You can know everything there is to know about investing in real estate, but if you don't have a full, healthy pipeline of opportunities, nothing is going to happen. So this is where we start. This is where the main focus should be. This is your true income producing activities, is living right here in your lead generation system. And that breaks down into three parts. You've got referrals, you've got inbound leads, and you've got outbound leads. Now referrals, you probably know what this is. This is people that know, like, and trust you that are going to send you opportunities to see if you want to buy those properties. But remember, this takes some time to build up a reputation that you close deals. So it takes a little bit of time to build momentum here in your referral network. And so what most people do is they start with 2 or 3 here with inbound leads and outbound leads. Now, inbound lead is when the sellers of properties call you. Then that usually happens from marketing efforts. I'm talking about direct mail marketing. I'm talking about pay-per-click marketing, where people are going on Google and searching, sell my house fast, and they find your website and they fill out a form and you get that. I'm talking about TV. I'm talking about radio. I'm talking about bandit signs. Anytime somebody is calling you, that is an inbound lead. But remember, this, out of all 3 of these, is going to be your most expensive. But once you get to inbound leads where it's hot, motivated sellers calling you to buy their house, it's the best. But I will tell you this, in the smaller markets, in markets where it's about 500,000 population and below, you have to factor in it's going to cost you between $100 and $300 per lead, and it takes about 15 leads per closed deal. All right? Now, if you're in a major market like I am in Phoenix, where we've got millions of people here in my market, it's anywhere from $300 to $500 a lead, and it is, again, 15 leads per deal. So this does get expensive, but it is amazing the opportunities that you can get and how fast you can negotiate those deals and get them under contract and close on them when you have this system going. This is where we end up, all right? But when we're starting, for the most part, we got to be proactive. We got to go out there and we got to go talk to property owners. You can knock on doors. You can pick up the phone and make calls. As long as they're not on the do not call list, make sure you get rid of all those. Make sure that you're calling them or you're sending them mail so that you can get these outbound leads. These outbound leads are also just going on the market, looking on the market and seeing properties that maybe they've been sitting on the market for a really long time, and you start reaching out to those agents and seeing if they're willing to get reasonable about the price, if they're really motivated to sell those properties right now. Also, you can start building up a really nice referral database if you are talking to real estate agents every single day. Next, this is the sweet spot. When we talk about, okay, who do we target? Who do we talk to find the absolute best opportunities? This Venn diagram is perfect. These 3 factors are what you want to be looking for when you are approaching property owners, all right? Poor property condition. They have equity. That means that they owe less than what you can offer, and there is motivation. And there's so many different reasons for motivation, but really it boils down into 2 main factors. It's the property is in poor condition, or they have personal problems, right? They just want to get rid of this property. They want speed and convenience, and they're willing to trade price for it. Let me say this again. Sellers, every single day, are willing to trade price for speed and convenience. And this is the sweet spot. Wait till the end of the video. I'm going to show you the exact type of property that I want you to go after in a case study of a deal that we just closed. But this is where you want to live. You want to live right here where the property needs some investment. A lot of property owners, they just aren't taking care of the property. Or maybe they inherit a property that is just really dated, or it just needs a lot of love to bring it up to today's standards. And because of that, an investor has to take risk investing in that property to make it look beautiful, and the return for that risk is really nice profits. But if you go after the properties that are in really rough shape, people typically will trade price for speed and convenience. If they're beautiful properties, they should put it on the market and sell it for as much as they can. But some sellers are really embarrassed about the condition of the property, or they don't want a lot of people coming into their property. They want to keep it very private. They just want to work with one buyer, and that could be you if you are doing your lead generation and you're talking to people that have these really rough looking properties. They have equity and they have motivation. All right, next, let's talk about converting these leads. This is where the magic happens, right? Everything's starting with the lead generation, but now this is where the real negotiating skills come into play, right? And it really breaks down into these three parts. You got to pre-qualify. Pre-qualify every property owner every single time. This is going to help prevent you from wasting your time and the time of that property owner because maybe their expectations are not in line with what reality is, what you can actually offer them. All right, so pre-qualify them based on the 4 pillars: condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation to sell, and what price they want for those properties. I am telling you, you find out those 4 factors, those 4 pillars, oh man, that is going to be the difference between somebody that's going to do business with you and somebody that never will. Next is lead follow-up. I can't tell you how many students that I have taught throughout the last 10 years that this is their biggest problem. They love going out and hunting for the opportunities. They love making the initial contact with the property owner, but then after the first call, they just drop it. Why? Because having a lot of leads makes them feel happy, makes them feel warm, makes them feel secure. And they're so worried that if they call them back, they're going to tell them, I don't want to sell, or that they sold it to somebody else, or they're going to go with a different strategy to sell their property. Don't do that. You want to live in reality. Don't hallucinate out there. Live in reality. Follow the Nike slogan and just do it. And lead follow-up, really, there's 3 buckets of lead follow-up. There's hot leads, there's warm leads, and there's cold leads. The hot leads want to sell their property. They're going to sign a purchase agreement with somebody in the next 30 days. You need to be talking to them every single day. All right? Warm leads, their timeline's a little bit longer. They're looking over 30 days to 90 days. They're going to be making a decision to sign a purchase agreement with somebody, and that's when you're going to follow up once a week. All right? And then there's cold leads, and these are people that really, they're kind of kicking the tires. You know what I mean? They're not really there yet. They're kind of considering someday to do something at some future time in the maybe. You know what I mean? The wishy-washy type, and those are cold. You want to follow up with them about once a month. Got it? Good. Guys, if you're getting value out of this, please put a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions, please put a question in the comment section. I will be in there. I will be living in there. I will be responding to you. But if you're enjoying this, put it in there so that I can do more videos for you guys. Next is the offer presentation. This is where the rubber meets the road, all right? This is make and break. This is where we actually get a purchase agreement signed with the property owner. And you guys see the little nuance that I'm playing with here? I'm saying purchase agreement. I'm not saying contract. I'm not saying paperwork. That sounds like people are signing up for something that is going to trap them in some way. This is an agreement between you and the seller. That's the verbiage that you should be using. And you're not asking them to sign the agreement. You're asking them to approve the agreement. All of this is working for a win-win solution for you and that seller. But this should be a natural progression of doing these. Imagine, you know the condition of the property, so you know how much work it needs. You know when they want to close and get paid on that because you know their timeline. You know why they're selling it, what the problem is, and everything that they're dealing with, and you're working with them and all the emotions that are involved with that throughout this process, and you know their price because you pre-qualified. Then you followed up with them, you got an appointment. The natural progression should be that they do business with you. Next, exit strategy. All right, what do you want to do? Where are you at? And I'm going to break this down because this was very, very confusing for me when I got started, and I made a tremendous amount of mistakes. All right, the exit strategy, there's three exit strategies. You can buy and sell, right? This is kind of fix and flippers. Buy and sell the property. This is for capital gains. This is so that you get those big chunks of money, right? You can buy and hold if you're in a position where you can put a reasonable down payment. Typically, it's about 20% down, unless you do a creative deal, but we're not talking about that today. We could talk about it on some future videos, but typically it's about 20% down, and you've got assignment. This is where you actually sell the purchase agreement to another investor, and it's a phenomenal tool for you to be able to really build up your bank account and build some momentum in your business right here by assigning the deal. And I'll break that all down in separate videos. But these are the three main exit strategies: buy and sell, buy and hold, and assign. All right? But let's look at this. Let's look at the income statement and the balance sheet. What's the first lesson in Rich Dad? The rich don't work for money. What does that mean, the rich don't work for money? What that means is their assets are paying for their expenses. Their assets are probably paying for their expenses, giving them more income when that income is going back to buying more assets. But what if you don't have enough income to buy the assets for those assets to cover your expenses? That's why you go back. Let's go back to the other slide. You go back to buying and selling and assigning those deals. All right, this is where you get big chunks of money, capital gains. Now, this isn't wealth building, but this is getting to be rich. I believe you get rich and then you get wealthy, right? You get to the point where your income is so high that you have enough left over to buy assets, which then are going to pay for your expenses. So it just depends on where you are at. Do you have enough income to be able to buy assets consistently, to be able to get out of the rat race? If not, let's go back one more time. I suggest you buy and sell and you assign deals until you get to the point where you can then buy and hold. We all want to live here. We all want to buy properties and hold them and have those assets that are going to pay us month after month, year after year after year. But if you're not there yet, then go with these two techniques. All right? And by the way, I've got a free training. There's a link down below. It's absolutely incredible. You definitely need to check it out if you really want to expand on what I'm talking about getting the capital that you need to be able to invest in the absolute best deals possible. All right? Now, let's look at the cash flow quadrant. All right? This is what we're talking about when we're talking about increasing our income. You got an employee, you have a job. You got self-employed, you own a job or have a specialized skill. You've got business owners, they own the system, and then you got investors where they own investments. But if you're here, we need to get here, right? You need to get into that specialized skill, and that specialized skill is finding great opportunities. That goes back to the start of the video here that we were talking about lead generation, conversion, and exit strategy. Once you build up a big enough, healthy bank account, guess what? Imagine this. Imagine you walking into your boss's office and telling him, thank you for the opportunity, or telling her, thank you for the opportunity. I no longer need to work here. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that like the best day ever? And then you get consistent with building your skills of finding really great discounted real estate, that you build a system and you start firing yourself from the job. You start firing yourself. That's the second best day. The first best day is when you fire your boss. The second is when you fire yourself. And now you're working on your business, not in your business, and you can focus on buying investments. Absolutely incredible. I promised you a little case study at the end of this, so let's take a look at a deal that we just did. Guys, this property owner just inherited from their family. It was a rental property, and it was in rough shape. I mean, guys, this needed absolutely everything, probably $100,000 plus worth of work, truly, to get this property up to tip-top shape. And they filled out on our website. We reached out to them on the phone. Guys, I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I've never been to Tennessee. I've never walked this property. But we put this property under contract at $20,000. Fixed up, it's worth $190,000. We reached out to some incredible investors that fix up properties in this city, and we sold it to them for $48,000. We profited $28,000 from one conversation with a property owner that just inherited a property, and they didn't have the budget to fix up this property. They didn't want to put it on the market. They were embarrassed by the condition. They wanted to leave everything there. Guys, this happens every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day. Anybody can do this business if you're willing to take massive, imperfect action. You got this. I'll see you in the next video.